Y'all asked questions and I'm answering them. How long have you had Funhouse as an OC? Since I discovered the dress-up games for Monster Girl Maker or something, and that was like, I don't know, 2020, I think. But no, technically I've had her way longer than that. This was her old design. This is what she used to look like. This was long before I ever did digital art, since the story was originally going to be a lot more aliens and human-based. Does Andromeda become evil, or was she born evil? She becomes evil. Andromeda is my main antagonist, but it is my villain overall, and it was the one that groomed Andromeda into being an asshole. That's kind of what happens when you leave a child in the care of the embodiment of evil. Although, she wasn't actually left in its care, it just decided to wreck their home for some reason. Any tips for OC writers who want to make a consistent story? I am the wrong person to be asking that. I know it seems like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I've only been taking my world building seriously for the last few years, and I've been making these characters for like over 2 decades at this point. Would I ever make an indie cartoon of my OCs? No. No, I would not. And I know that seems surprising to a lot of people, but that would just put too much pressure on me, and my story is not that set in stone for me to attempt something like that. And I want to share my stories and characters with the world, but I don't want to be that big, you know? I know myself. It's a big reason why I'm not really doing it as like a job, or not looking for art-related jobs. I want to keep it as much of a hobby as possible. But that's just me personally. More Funhouse lore when? Right now, actually. Any advice for someone trying to write a character with DID? Do research and be respectful and don't be a dick. I'm sorry, I'm not really helpful here. To clarify, I am not a system. A lot of people assume that because of the video I posted, but I am not a system. How many alters does Funhouse have? 5, including Funhouse herself. Funhouse's real name is Emmett. Funhouse is her stage name. The others are named Melanie, Tricky, Ricky, and V. Funhouse has 5 voice claims of the same character, just voiced by different people. How does Funhouse feel about their system, or if they even know about their system at all? You see, they actually find out that they're a system shortly before the story starts. Around 13 years old, maybe? Fun being raised by her parents, didn't even know how to write or read her own name. If her village knew she was a system, or knew something was going on, they would have assumed that she was possessed. Up until she was 7, and then at that point she was being raised by the staff, who are comprised of a lot of supernatural beings. Therefore, she grew up being used to their customs rather than her human customs. They know what possession looks like, and that's not what Fun has. Some characters knew right away, some characters didn't. Overall, she didn't have too hard of a time accepting it, but that doesn't mean she didn't have problems. Does she have an inner world? If so, what does it look like? It looks like this. A bunch of X's. This could honestly be a whole video by itself, but basically, they have their own box rooms. Sometimes it shrinks, sometimes it expands, sometimes they connect, sometimes they black out. It's a whole process. If you could describe your entire world in one sentence, what would it be? Holy shit. Is Kit genetically a zombie or infected? Neither. Kit and her sisters died, and then they came back. A lot of people often ask what the difference is between a zombie and an undead, and the main difference is that zombies still contain their souls. Undeads don't have souls. Kit and her sisters have souls. They've just been stolen and kept away from them, and they have no idea where the fuck they are. They're not movie types where they bite someone and someone becomes a zombie. That's not possible. You can only become one if you die. Which makes the whole zombies being born thing kind of complicated, but that's for another day. What is Kit's favorite food? Do they hate anyone or despise? Her favorite food is cinnamon bagel chips. And she hates it. She's not really someone who feels strongly towards people like that, but if there was one person, it would be this fucking thing. She actively refers to it as either the shit stain or a parasite. How powerful is Seeker compared to your other characters? Pretty powerful, actually, considering he is the biological child of one of the embodiments of sin, who are basically some of the most powerful people in existence. You just don't really see him do much, because he's a pretty laid-back kind of guy. Funny, considering his father is the embodiment of wrath, but I digress. And a big part of that actually has to do with the way that Polly, his father, raised him, which is something that I'm working on in an animation, actually, and it's taking fucking forever. How elastic is his dangling eye? Like, can it stretch? If someone were to smack it, would it swing like a tether ball, or is it perpetually stiff and stuck in the same position? You can stretch it. Trust me, the first time Kit and Seeker met, she pulled his eyeball and it smacked him right in his non-existent face eye. You'll never be able to pull it off, but it's still going to hurt, so I'd suggest not pulling it, please. Also, the small eyeball is his entire body. The rest of his body is made from different muscles and nerves gifted by his father, so food for thought. Is Polly single and possibly ready to mingle? Oh, you're asking the important questions, aren't you? Wouldn't you like to know? Why is Funhouse green and red? Unexplained skin condition. That's it. There's no explanation other than that. Would Kit throw someone out a window? Why or why not? I don't know, do you want to be thrown out a window? Are you into that, or what the fuck? Who is the most milk? I have no idea what the fuck that means. You trying to share, Milky? How does magic work for everyone? Are there organs that do that? In this video, I explain the 4 main rules of my magic. I'll put the timestamp up here so you can check that out. In terms of organs, not necessarily, although there are organs that they have that can be enhanced by magic. And I don't think horns count as organs. In my world, the supernatural is as common as any human, so humans can perfectly do magic. It's a mix, so if you aren't imaginative enough, nothing will really happen, but if you aren't physically strong enough, the magic will probably kill you. Sometimes you can tell how strong someone is by the type of magic that they do, since some magic requires more mental stability or physical strength than the other. And magic is also known to be highly sensitive, as well as a double-edged sword. Sometimes if you simply feel an emotion strong enough, you can end up creating a single-minded entity based off of that emotion, and you wouldn't even know about it. That kind of thing becomes the cause of many problems. What do you like most out of all your OCs? How does eating go for Ripley? It's like a water slide, or like a slide at a playground, just Does Buddy like or love someone? This is Buddy, by the way. And yes, she does. She's in an official relationship with Marley, this mushroom man over here. They had only known each other for like a year or two before dating, but they're sweet. They're sweet. Which OC is most likely to listen to My Chemical Romance? Well, considering my playlist mostly comprises of I mean, any of them could, you never know. Who is the old guy in the video game concept you made? I forgot his name. This answers all your questions. I like him. He's one of my favorite characters. I made animations for a video game concept because it's one of my goals or dreams in the future, if you were wondering what they're talking about. Can Seeker change his body parts or regain a new body? Yeah, he can. What is its true appearance? And if they don't have a definitive one, what is the one they use the most? Well, when we first meet it in the sister story, they're at their weakest, and this is what they look like. It's not their true form, but the form they take on the most is this one, because it looks a lot like Carla when she was a young child. And I'm aware of how it looks, and it is also aware of how it looks, and it constantly makes jokes about ruling out the pedos, and it's kind of, I don't know. Also the fact that I hint to it literally being anybody in the future, it has led to some questionable jokes. How are they doing?
It always calls me stupid. I'm not stupid. You're stupid. Stop calling me stupid.
Bitch. You wouldn't understand anything!
This one? Don't turn on the light.
Just fine. Let me ask. If Kit could make a baby from a tooth, a non-living part of her body, could she theoretically make more offspring using other non-living parts of her body? Here's the thing. She didn't. Her husbands did that for her. Wyss used a parasite specifically for that purpose, a parasite that takes blood from its host in order to create offspring. She gobbled that thing down and then threw it up. And then boom, a baby started forming in her belly. And they named her Wendell. Wendell is the only baby she had to carry. For tooth, she just ripped out her tooth, gave it to Seeker and said, put some of your DNA in this and have it grow. And Seeker was like, alright. It was Seeker's blood that brought it to life. Kit didn't do anything except be the vessel.
And that's how babies are made.
Also, sorry for what? My villain casually unburrs itself several times from people's who's and asses, so you're not gonna scar me with that. What character did you have the most fun creating but found the most difficult to make at the same time? All of them. Fucking all of them, because I'm so indecisive. I have about like 5 other designs that I really want to use, but I don't know what to use them for. What inspired you to make your characters? I don't know. What would your characters do if you threw them onto a deserted island? I don't know, probably make out, eat each other, die, one of those 3 things, in that order. Have big pointy stick, hit enemy with stick, needle mask, poke face, make him bleed, bleed turn into smoke, smoke poison, no huff or you die. He scream real loud, make wind go, ah! Can also make blood go, hey little mama, can I whisper in your ear? It's blood. Ultimate gaslighter. Punch you, arm fall off. You think arm fall off, they tell you arm fell off, arm no fall off. Tis magic trick. Camera go flash. Congrats, it's a boy. Never mind. It's a girl now. Red gem sword go glowy glowy. Cut things, it set on fire. Cut things, it heal. Plant grow. Your elemental power is green. What? Green. Girl heal. Girl make you sleep. Girl make bad dream, good dream.